New for the 2024-25 school year is something called the assessment tags in the KReady account. This is a one-time designation, and this is required in order for the teachers to be able to view the professional development, that green Access Professional Development and Resource button. So it's really important that that tag, that checkbox is checked, and we'll go through that as we walk through how to load the data and kind of show you where that is. But we really want to stress that that assessment tag, that checkbox for the assessment tag is checked. In addition to that, there's going to be KRA training. The KRA certification training is required for licensed school employees and teachers administering the fall 2024 KRA-R. In addition to that, only kindergarten teachers that have not been trained in the KRA or the KRA-R should complete this training. So if you've already had this training, you don't have to do that again. And then again, following up data managers, it's important that you have that assessment tag checked so that those teachers can get access to the training. Next, we have our calendar. This is kind of the timeline for this. The window opened on July 1, so we know that many of you have already done some things, and those of you that are familiar have loaded your information and kind of are moving along. But again, the window is open and access to the system is available. The window will close on November the 1st. At 11:59 p.m. That's when the data collection window closes. And then there's a cleanup window that'll close a few days after that on November the 9th. So again, this is our typical process. Once the window closes, we give data managers an opportunity to go in and make sure that the data is accurate and ready to be submitted. Again, this is the calendar for this fall assessment. If you have questions regarding policy and guidelines, you want to reach out to the Department of Children and Youth. And again, the email contact is there online. If you've downloaded the slides, these are hot links in the PDF document. So you can just click that and open up an email, or you can click this link that's showing on screen at the bottom and go right to their website and get some information there. But again, they're going to be the experts to provide you with background and context around the kindergarten readiness assessment, give you some specifics about your role and the teacher's role in this assessment, and provide you with the necessary materials that both you and the teachers need. In addition to that, the help desk team is here to support you from a technical perspective. We are available. We've got calling hours. You can call us and speak to one of our CSAs. You can also submit a help desk support ticket, a request for assistance online, and we'll walk through that as well. But we want to make sure that you know that this is the place to come if you have questions, technical questions surrounding the KReady system. So when we talk about the data manager role, these are some of the things that you will do as a data manager. You're going to create accounts in the system. We call these user accounts. So your teachers, when you upload your teachers, you're uploading users to the system. You're going to create those accounts in the system, both for teachers and administrators. In addition to that, you'll be adding student data and enrollment information to the KReady system. And again, this is so that teachers can begin to score or rate those students in the system. So as a data manager, you're going to be responsible for making sure that the students are in the system so that teachers have access to scoring and rating those students. In addition to that, your role is to monitor and update the data along the way during the window and to address any kind of transfers that may take place. Again, we'll talk more about that when we are discussing how you load your data and how you move the data from place to place in the system. And then finally, your role is to access the reports and make sure that everything is correct for submission. So this seems like a simple, task. These bullets seem really small and simple, but we know that there's much more to it than this. And again, we are here to assist you with that. We want to make sure that you are aware and have the information you need in order to be successful as a data manager. We want to make sure that you know how to get access to become a data manager if you don't already have access. In order to do that, you have to be listed in OEDS as an assessment data manager for your location. And so there's a link here and information online to understand how to become an assessment data manager. And if you still need assistance with that, you can reach out to the help desk and we can provide you with some assistance. But in order to gain access to the KReady system, you have to be listed as an assessment data manager. So with that, we're going to move into the KReady system and talk a little bit about what is involved, what you do as a data manager with regards to loading data. And so the first thing is we want you to understand that there are really three ways to get data into the system, to get those students and teachers and enrollments into the system. The first is manually. And so that is recommended when you're just doing a single load or just a few records at one time. We do, however, recommend loading everyone through the bulk loader initially so that we get that information into the system using the templates. And so we'll walk through the process for loading the data, but this is when you're going to be loading a large bulk of records into the system using templates. And we'll walk you through that process when we get to the section on loading data. There is a third process. Process is really recommended for larger districts. It's an automated process that allows locations to kind of set a schedule, if you will, for updating their information in the system vis-a-vis a secure file transfer protocol. And so we'll walk you through that process as well later on in the session today. When you're putting that information in, there are some resources that can help you. There is a data guidelines document that we encourage you to download. It's going to walk you through what the requirements are for getting the information into the system. It's going to walk you through the formatting that's needed. We'll talk a little bit about that today and show you how to format the templates. But again, all of that information is contained in the data guidelines document for you, and we encourage you to download that document. When we talk about templates, again, you can find that information in the data manager manual or the guidelines document, but we want to make sure that you follow these guidelines to a T in order for your information to be recognized in the system. The first is with regards to formatting that you not change any of the headers in the templates that you use. When you download those templates, use those as they are. Please do not change the order or change the templates. You must remember to format for leading zeros using the templates. Likewise, the date of birth must be formatted in the way that you see here on the screen with 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the current year. And then each field has to be separated with commas. So the templates are in a comma separated value or CSV. When you download it, it must be uploaded in that same way in order for the system to recognize that. All of this information can be found in the data guidelines and data manager manual. And so we encourage you to take a look at that, but we're going to walk you through and show you how to do that in the system as we walk through how to upload some of these templates. As an example, we're going to do that in a live demonstration for you.
Here is we're going to have a step-by-step here for adding users. I do encourage you can follow me through this as well when you're looking at those notes. We're going to go through each detail. I will kind of have a little note here as well as a video for each of these items that we're going to do following step by step. But let's go ahead, and I want to go live on this version or this one here to show you how to add a user manually. So in your KReady, once you are in and signed in as your data manager, select users on the left-hand navigation. From here, you want to select add user and type in the user's first name and last name, their teacher email address, add that in, and the location. So whichever location, if you have multiple locations for your district, for your buildings, you're going to go ahead and then select the password. Now you can do any password you choose here as long as it goes with the password requirements. And also, after you create this account and create the user account, the system is going to send an email to that user. So you don't need to share this password with the user you're creating. Select Save and Open after you make sure you do the roles. And from here, you have your teacher information. This is the main details page, and this is where you want to make sure that the information that you originally typed in was correct and go over that. What you're also going to see is this new, right underneath the roles, which is assessment tag. So with the new professional development component this year, users are no longer needing a site pin when they access the PD site and the modules. So if they're tagged within the system, the KReady system properly, they will automatically be added to the appropriate PD sites when they try to access it. So to do that manually, click on that toggle to turn it on and check mark the box for KRA. After that, make sure you hit save. So now this user is going to be successfully updated and have access to that professional development. Now we do have one more step when you're adding a user manually, is you need to select the organizations on right next to details. Administrative levels, you're going to select districts. You're going to add them and make sure they're added to that district and attach them. So if you have multiple districts, you may see multiple. If you have one, you're going to select add next to that district. And here's the district, teacher district ID. Now, this is going to be either the teacher's credential ID, which will be 2 letters and 7 digits, their educator ID, or you can also use their email address. But make sure that whatever you put in there, that's what you're going to be using in the bulk load when you add your teacher file through the bulk load and on your enrollments file. So this is where you're going to find it for your teacher. And now you see they are associated with that. You can also go down to locations. And if that teacher perhaps needs to be attached to multiple locations, from here, you can add the teacher to multiple locations. They need to be at least added to one. So that is the process on adding them, adding a user manually. So going back, we want to take a look a little deeper at now adding students manually. And again, I do encourage you to follow me through. It's just a very quick step-by-step. We want to make sure that you are attaching the data collection token manually when you're adding that student, as well as adding the teacher. So I do have another quick video and underneath that note that you will see how to add a student manually. So we will go through each of these steps. I'm going to go back to the KReady system. You're going to select students. And now you want to select add student. From here, you're going to type in the SSID number, which is going to be 2 letters and 7 digits. You are going to put in their first name, the date of birth, the gender, the race, the disability code. Now, if the student has an IEP, they will have a disability code. So if this is marked as toggled on, you would need to put a disability code. If you do not have a disability code, and then it would just be marked as over to the left. If the student's an English language learner, again, you're going to toggle. And then the low social economic status, if it is a yes or a no. You're going to select the region, the district, and the location for where that student should be. Select save and open. And the student ID, oh, I put too many ones, so you will get that error up if it's too many digits. Oh, it cleared out everything here. So enter this in real quickly again. And once you get all of that done, now you're still sitting, you need to reattach them to that location. Hit save and open. There they go. So now from here, you have their details page, so you can always change this if Maybe down the road, there's any changes. Go to enrollments. Now this is where you're going to attach the teacher for the student. Right underneath teacher association, select assign teacher, and you will see the list of your teacher. If the teacher is not attached to that location, they're not going to show on this assigned teachers. So in order to reattach maybe a teacher to an associate or to a location, you can do it manually, or you can do it through the bulk loader. And again, we will be going over the bulk loader shortly, and I will show you how to do that. Hit assign and finished. Now you have one more step, and this is where you want to assign the data collection token. Just because you assign the teacher to the student, that doesn't mean the teacher is going to see them in the roster. You have to do one more step, and that's attach the assessment to the student, to the teacher. When you hit the word location, as you can see, I went a little too fast there, so I want to show you again, is right underneath, you see the word location when you're in the enrollments tab. And it's going to be underlined. It's going to say 1 of 1. It's a hyperlink. It's going to open a student up just a little bit further so we have this data collection assignment. And you can see on that left-hand side, we jump up to organization. So it's almost like you're drilling all the way down, going through that way. But this is just a quicker way. So you can see here is the data collection assignment tab. When a teacher tells you they cannot see a student in their roster and you clearly see that they're assigned to their teacher, you want to check the data collection assignment, because if this states there are no data collections currently assigned, that's why the teacher is not seeing the student. So from here, select assign data collection, click assign, and then finish. That easy. Now, after that is assigned, you can then reach out to that teacher and confirm that they can see that student in their roster. Bulk loading is where we're going to go next. You're going to go through 3 different steps. You're going to download your files from your student information system. You're going to update your teachers manually if necessary. So for instance, if a teacher has, like I say, a name change, an email address change, before you do the bulk load, you want to make sure you update your teachers manually first. And then lastly, we're going to go over is the formatting, how to prepare your upload for the bulk loader. Now, I do have the quick notes here on how to update a user manually. We have that. Also, I wanted to put down there at the bottom is there is the fall data collection listed there. I'm also going to show you how to find that when you're in the KReady system. Now let's go back, and on that left-hand side, we're going to go to your bulk loader. Now we are going to take a look at each of these tabs. The uploads, this is going to have a list of all of your teacher, student enrollment files that you have uploaded thus far for this school year. The automated, this is one of another way, as Ed stated earlier, of loading data, more intended for larger districts. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more detail. And the last tab is the templates. This is where you're going to find your teacher, your student, and enrollment templates. So from here, you want to select your template type, and we're going to go with a teacher, and you want to do an all fields. Now, I do recommend doing an all fields right away to attach the teachers to the assessment tag for the KRA. Now, I did pre-populate a file so you can see exactly how it's going to look. So your district ID is going to be your district IRN. It'll be a total of 6 digits. Usually starts with a 0. We're going to go through how to format the various columns. So district ID, your teacher ID. Now, again, this is going to be either their email address or their educator ID. Then you have your school ID. Now, this school ID is going to be your building IRN number. So if you have multiple buildings, you're looking at a specific building, okay? So it's going to have a specific IRN number. The teacher email, first name, last name, and the assessment tag. And the assessment tag, like I say, is a one-time thing. Once they're attached, you don't have to do it every time. The assessment tag, you want to put in KRA, put it in all caps, and do it next to your teacher's that you want to make sure are attached to the assessment tag. So when you're uploading this file, you are going to format for leading zeros. So you want to highlight the column, you want to right click, go down to Format Cells. From here, select Custom. Underneath General, that's already highlighted in blue over on the right, select that first zero underneath. And then put your cursor up right underneath Type where you have now a blinking cursor. And you want to type in an additional 5 zeros because you want a total of 6. Once you see the 6 zeros, select OK. Now, what you would see is if I put in my IRN as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and hit Enter, it's now going to have that leading 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're going to do the exact same for column C, Custom, then right underneath General, first 0, and then type an additional 5. Hit OK. Now you want to save this somewhere you can easily find it. I do recommend minimizing it. Just minimize it on your desktop and go back to your bulk loader. You don't need to close it because when it's saved as a CSV, if you reopen it, it loses its formatting. So you'd have to do it all over again, those leading zeros. Select your Uploads tab. From here, select Upload File. Select your template type, and then find that file. Now, I went ahead yesterday, and I did do this last night to add that, but I wanted to show you the process for the teachers, and especially this year with the assessment tag for the teacher file is the new item this year. Now, going back to your templates, you want to do the same thing for your student file. We do, again, recommend doing an all fields template for a student file because the all field is going to give you the IEP, the disability code, and the additional fields. In this way, you have it all in one file. Now, again, for time purposes, I did do a quick student file. And again, we have the different fields. It goes all the way from A to Z. Your first column A is the district ID, again, the IRN number for your district. The district student ID is optional. You can add it if you want. It's not going to error out if you don't put anything in it. Same thing with student middle name, optional. Put in your state student ID. Again, remember it's going to be 2 letters and 7 digits. Your school ID, student first name, student last name, their date of birth, the race, the gender, and you leave the other in the middle blank, K through V, but you want to concentrate then on W, X, Y, and Z. Your IEP, this is what Ed stated earlier, is the data guidelines. This data guidelines document will show you what you need to put in for any kind of abbreviations for certain file or for certain columns. So IEP is going to be either a yes or a no. If it is a yes, it's going to be a Y. If it's a no, it's going to be an N. If it's a yes, you will have to have a disability code entered. So it's going to be 1 through 16, I believe, on the data guidelines. You will see what disability code means what. The low socioeconomic status, this is going to be an N or a Y. English language learner is the last one, and that'll be a N or a Y. Now let's format. There's 4 columns you need to format for your student file. It's going to be the 2 that we did earlier, the district ID, your school ID. You're also going to do a date of birth column, and you're going to do the disability code. So going back, I'm going to just show you how to do that format for, again, for the school ID. So going to custom, going to general, first 0, and then typing in an additional 5 zeros, making it a total of 6. Do that for column A and D. Your date of birth column. Now this is going to be slightly different. However, you're going to select custom. I do select that first 0 again. However, I do back and delete it because I'm going to type in MM for month, /DD, /YYYY, and then hit OK. The reason why is you want, if it is a month starting in a single digit or a day starting in a single digit, you want that leading 0. So 05, 01, and then the 20, the full 4 dates for the year. So, and then lastly is the disability column. Now this one, you want to have the same thing, format cells, you want custom, and you're going to select that first 0 again. This time you just want to add an extra 0. So you want 2. So when you hit OK, it's going to have a 01 entered. So once you have all of your formats there, you want to hit save. And again, you're going to put this where exactly you can find it, and you minimize that. Going to go back to your uploads, and you are going to then upload this file using your students, and then hit upload. Now, lastly is the enrollments file. Now, the enrollments here is same thing we do recommend doing in all fields, and want to show you exactly what that file looks like. So there's slight difference here is what it is the enrollments file is a combination of your student file and your teacher file. So besides column A, your column B through H is what you put in your student file. And then column I, J, and K is what is in your teacher file. So you honestly, if you wanted to, you could copy from directly those files once they have uploaded. The new part for the enrollment is the data collection here. Not really new part, but this is the one part of the file that if you do not know your data collection file, if you go back to your bulk or to your KReady system, go up to data collections. Here you're going to see the 2024 Kindergarten Readiness Assessment revised and the enrollment token. So that is what you put in the enrollment file for column A, that data collection token. So similar to the others is you're going to format your district ID for your 6 digits, custom, first 0, and type in additional 5. So you have a total of 6. Then you're going to do your date of birth column. Again, you're going to go down to format cells, go to custom, select that first 0, and put your cursor right behind it and minimize it or delete it. And then type in your month, day, YYYY. Hit OK. Once all of this is good and saved, you can again minimize it and go back to your bulk loader, select your uploads, and select upload file. You select your enrollments. And now there is this option here for uploading enrollments. You're just going to leave that blank and the bottom part. You're not unenrolling any students. You're actually adding students. So from here, you're just going to select your file and add your file once you have it done. So if you wanted to unenroll any students, let's say that maybe were attached incorrectly, if you check mark this box and do it by student, this is a good option for like a partial upload. So if maybe you only had 5 kids and you wanted to make sure that maybe the enrollment was clean and maybe make sure they weren't attached to any student or teachers, you can do that. But being your first load, maybe you're not going to be using this. If you do it by district, now this is good for maybe districts that have like larger districts that have a lot of students, a lot of teachers attached. This will help remove any unenrolls attachments to any other teachers. So now we're going to go back. And the last method here, as we discussed earlier, is automated. And the data automation using the file watcher or using the SFTP. So the file watcher is a way of automating the process for your uploads by writing data scripts. Now this process, again, These are both good for larger districts. And the SFTP, which is Secure File Transfer Protocol, is done through your SIS, integrated through with your SIS. So these options, like I say, are great if you are a larger district and maybe just want that process automated. If you are interested, reach out to us and we can help you through the process. Now, next up is last here is going to be the reports. We're going to talk about reports next. So for the KRA reports, we're going to go through each of these. Now, the very first one is the KRA percentage completion reports, which is going to show a percentage of students who have completed the KRA, not just have scores entered, but actually completed. Now, this is used to monitor student completion progress, and it's available both during and after the window. The KRA completion by item is going to show if a teacher has entered a score, entered a rating for a student. So it'll have each of the items and for each student. And if there is a score entered, it will have an X. It's not going to give you the score. It's just going to state that there is a score entered. Again, this is used to monitor to make sure that students are complete with each of the items. And it's available both during and after. The language and literacy report. Now, this is going to show the students' language and literacy domain scale scores. And this can be used for reporting on track, not on track status for reading diagnostics. And this is available both during and after. The KRA student and enrollment report. Now, this is going to just show if the teacher is assigned to the student. So it's going to be that demographic data and teacher assignment. And it's just used to verify that the connection between that student and teacher. And it's available both during and after. The data downloads. This is going to show all teachers, students, and enrollment data that's in the system. And this is used to check basically more of a managerial report for what has been loaded into the KReady system, and you're checking. And this is available both during and after. The KRA domain data report, this is going to show actual student scores for each item and the total points calculated for each of the domains. So this is used to confirm that scores are entered for each of the domains, and this is available both during and after. Now, the last two here is the KRA scaled score report. This is going to show all student data, teacher data, their overall and item level scores. This is the report that is used to submit to EMIS. This is only available after the assessment window, after the data cleanup window, and normally what happens is we send out a communication and we also put it on our site when the scale score report can be downloaded by the district. The last one here is the KRA ISR report. This is going to be a PD link of the actual student's KRA results. And it's a very nice Word document, PDF, like I say, that is designed to be shared with families. And this one, again, is only going to be available after the data cleanup and after the assessment has closed. So I do want to just show you very quickly how to find those reports. If you go back to your KReady system, select reports, select your drop-down, and go to create a report. The completion by item report, select your data collection, and then select your district and location. So depending on if you want to look at the district level or if you want to look at the location level, and you would specifically see. If you wanted to pull the language and literacy report and you wanted to look at that data collection and then the district and location, and it will narrow down. So depending on which one you wanted to look at, if you wanted to look at the location or more of the teacher, you would select which one. When you do, you get the drop that states little check mark, report was created. And you do see it's going to be in processing status. Give it some time. When it does generate, from there, you're able to download and take a look at that report. And
Ohio K12 Help site, there are videos that walk you through all the processes. So if you go to Ohio K12.help and right on the main screen, click KReady System Support. It's going to bring you to the main section here. If you click on Data Manager Support, this is where you'll find the list of resources and information that we've been talking about. There are videos. For instance, here's a video on the assessment tag. Here, you can find information on how to format leading zeros. The data guidelines document can be found here. A link to that is here. Here, you can see how to add an account manually and how to update that information. You are most likely going to find the answer that you need in the resources that we have on this page here as a data manager. If you can't find the answer, you can come down and click on Request Support, and that's going to open up a contact form. You can search for your building by the IRN. If you don't know the IRN, you could put the name of your location here. So for instance, if I put Ada and I just click Go, it's going to bring up the locations, and I'm at Ada Elementary School, so I'm going to click this, and it will open up the support request form for me to fill out that information. So again, it's a real simple, kind of quick, easy way to get to that form. But this form helps our support desk. The more detail you can provide, the quicker we can get an answer to you. So I highly encourage folks to use this form if they have a question or an issue, and to submit that to our team, and then we can, provide a response. You can also, upload a screenshot if you have images that you want to share of the challenge or issue that you're having. Again, that helps our team in trying to come up with a solution for your problem there.
Deactivating users. So to remove a user from your district that may have left. So if you select your users on that left-hand side and select open next to their name, you can, from here, you want to make them inactive and maybe remove the teacher role however you want. I usually recommend doing that. So you make them inactive here and you hit save. But you got to go one more step in order for the user not to show up in your users. Go to organizations, select that drop down arrow next to administrative levels and click districts. And then from here, if they are attached to your district, which you would see their teacher credential ID, you would then hit remove. Let me do, let's do a real quick one here, and I can show you, it actually has them attached to the district. Here you're going to see the KRA, their district name, and then here you would just select remove. Hit remove, and they're now going to not show in your users within the KReady system. Now, if you want to, you are able to do that as a data manager for your users that are in a teacher role or administrator. However, if they are in the role of data manager, that can only be done with us at the help desk. But you want to make sure that you have the OEDS, Ohio Education Directory System, updated. So if you want to add someone, they need to be in the role of assessment data manager, preschool and kindergarten, it says. Or if you want them not to be in that role, they need to be removed there first. And to get to OEDS, search organization, and if you wanted to see exactly the IRN and the details for each, you would be able to search here. Another question, is a user able to log in without a password the first time? No, they have to have, if they don't have the password, it's going to be simple. They're going to select forgot password. It's going to take them through the prompts of going to forgot password, and they're going to reset their password through there. So if they don't have it, it's okay. Just send them, you can send them a sign-in link up here at the top. You know that their email address is going to be their username, and then just let them know that they're going to select forgot password. Can I keep using required fields? Will it remove the assessment tag toggle that I manually turned on already? And being that two-part, yes, you can continue using the required fields, and no, it's not going to remove the toggle that you've already done manually. So once that's done, once that's on, it's on. The only way to turn that off is doing that manually. And even through the bulk loader at required fields is because the required fields does not have that assessment tag as a column, it's okay. When I upload, do I need to do both a student upload and an enrollment upload? And yes, you have to do both, because in order to tie the student to the teacher, that's what that bulk load enrollment file does. It does two things. It adds them to the teacher, and it also assigns them to the actual assessment. So your first two files is going to be your teacher or student file. One of the two are always the first ones that get uploaded. The last one to upload is going to be the enrollment file. And you want to do that, and it's going to, once the other two come back complete and they have additions or updates, then that enrollment file, and it adds the teacher and data token. The assessment tag, just as a reminder, it is not yes, it's going to be KRA. Assessment tag in the bulk load needs to be KRA. Is there another way to determine whether a teacher has been previously trained from a user file? They're new to the district. No, there's not a way for them to, or for you to see as a data manager in the KReady system. However, the teacher should have their certificate if they've already done it. If they don't have it, maybe they lost it, they can reach out to KRA Help at childrenandyouth.ohio.gov. One of the trainers there will be able to locate a teacher certificate for that teacher. A couple questions regarding the required fields versus an all fields. Like I said earlier, the all fields is going to have all of those fields, so you can put in the IEP, the disability code for the student file, and then the teacher file. It's going to have that assessment tag. So if you need to add the students maybe quickly and add them to the KReady system, so maybe teachers can start giving the assessment, feel free to do the required. However, you do want to go later on and go back through and make sure that you add an all fields that has all of the details for each of the students listed.
Is there a way to pull a report of our users so that we can more easily verify our users?
So the data downloads, one of the reports that you could generate. And if you go into the reports and select the data downloads, it's going to be a system report at the very bottom. There you can actually pull your template type, so your teachers. And you can take a look at that and see, are those all your teachers that are there for that school year? Maybe they left the district and maybe you want to remove them as a user. That's going to give you that access to see all of your teachers that you've added there by using that data downloads, and you're going to use your download type as teacher.